everybody. Welcome to another episode of Eating Can Be Fun. I am your host, Beemore Foodie, and tonight's topic is Pico de Gallo. I make a well-known Pico de Gallo, not well-known like to people like outside of maybe the people I know, but to them it's well-known. They love it. I get requests to make it often. And tomorrow night, my sister's having her famous Christmas Eve party, and there's going to be a lot of people there, probably 40. That's a lot, I mean, for a house. I mean, if it was a big banquet room, maybe that wouldn't be that many, but for her house it is. So, she's asked me to make the salsa, because I said, what can I bring? Salsa's good when you've got a lot of people, you can just make a big batch. So, what I've done for the sake of time is I've mixed most of the ingredients. I'm going to add the final two. Now, I am going to actually tell you, surprise, my recipe. Now, I've altered it a little bit only because I'm making it for more people. But I will tell you what my standard mixture is, and you go with it. I do this the same every time. Some of it's a little this and that, but I will try to do the best to help you along. So, without further ado, I use in my salsa, in my Pico de Gallo, salsa Pico de Gallo, I use hothouse tomatoes. You can use beefsteak. Some people use Roma. I like the flavor. I don't usually use Roma. They just seem too sweet to me. Maryland has some fantastic tomatoes during the summer, all the way into October, late summer into October. And they're so good. But right now it's December. I can't get them. So I went to the store. So I'm using, I believe they were like a hothouse. So what I did is I used 6 this time, but normally I use 5 fairly large tomatoes. I use about a bunch and a half of cilantro. I use scallions or green onions, 2 bunches of those. I use 2 decent sized white onions. I prefer white onions. You just have a great flavor. White onion. And I also use jalapeno and lime, fresh garlic, and then some kosher salt to season it up. Now, what I did for this is I had to do a little more jalapeno because, again, there's more people. I don't want to make it too hot and scare somebody, although that might be fun around the holidays, especially if someone is being out of control and you could just surprise them with, try this, and then they eat it and they burn their mouth, and then they can't talk for at least a half hour because they're doing the whole... And then at least it's, they're gone for a half hour. But that's probably not what's going to happen. So, nevertheless, what I've done is I've already mixed the green onions, cilantro, jalapeno, and garlic. Now, I did not use a food processor only because it's a texture issue. If you use a food processor, you have the tendency to make it real fine. I don't want to make it that fine. Some people, you can do whatever you want. Again, this is eating can be fun, so make it fun. Make it yours. I'm not going to tell you how to blend yours or whatever. I hand chop. It takes longer. The prep on this salsa, my gosh, it's a good hour, but it's all about the texture. So when I'm chopping, I want to chop the onions a good size, but I don't know if you can see in there. Look at all the green and the onions. Now, I can show you my hands are clean, so, and there's some cilantro on it, but it's a decent size. Now, the tomato, and this is what I did for the tomato, so I've already got this mix. I mix all of the stuff that's drier first, and when I chop the cilantro, just so you know, I chop everything, even the stems. I do that because the stems have a lot of flavor, and it's a crunch texture issue again. So the stems are all in. I wash it, chop it all in. I chop the cilantro fine. I chop the garlic fine. I chop the scallions real thin. And then the white onions, a good size, but I don't want huge chunks. And the tomatoes, what I do on the side, I chop them first, and I use a colander. And in the middle bowl, what I've done is, you'll see this? So what's happening is the juice is draining into that bottom bowl because I don't want salsa to be all watery. It's already going to gain its own juice from the lime juice and the vegetables as they come together, trust me. Or tomato, because it's a fruit, so whatever. But, you get the point with the lime. And then I've added kosher salt. I've sprinkled a couple times and mixed in tomatoes. That actually pulls out moisture as well. And underneath, what you end up getting, it's still dripping, but at this point I'm going to have to add the tomatoes. I've got a fair amount of liquid, which I'm now going to remove. don't want all of that in my salsa. So now what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to add the tomatoes. The last thing that I add in this mixture is the lime. I have, gosh, I think I did 3 limes, 3 organic limes for this. I mean, I try to get organic when I can. Not everything's always going to be organic, but I like to. Organic is better, you know, but, oops, it's getting really out of hand already, and I haven't even really gotten going. So I'm just going to, kind of folding all this around. See, I've had people where they're going to throw all of this, they're going to throw all of this in a food processor, and it becomes like a blended sauce. Well, if I want sauce, I'll put that on spaghetti. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm doing here. I'm not making a thin sauce or a salsa verde. That's thin. Oh my gosh. I get a little wild here. Gosh, I can't lose any goodness. Well, I'll have to, that'll be stuff to clean up. Anyway, so you're going to mix this around. It doesn't need a lot of mixing. I just wanted to incorporate the tomatoes. Gosh, this color is so good. I'm going to tell you what, this salsa is so addicting. It's so good for you. And it just, everything's fresh. People love this. It's like you get a bag of chips and you eat the whole bag of chips with the salsa, and like 5 minutes later, you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? You've eaten everything because it's so addicting. I've made this salsa and then added it to different dishes. Make an omelet and put this on. Hello, let's get real, people. Let's just break it down. It's the holidays, I've said before, and I'm gonna eat. I don't care. You know what? I don't have to. I'm not gonna make it to where I'm like I can't move, but I'm gonna enjoy the holidays. And then in January, you know, I can, you know, start over. But for now, December is for eating, getting together. When in-laws come into town, drinking a little, having a couple drinks, especially because of the in-laws, just saying, and everybody knows what I mean. Even if you think you don't, you know what I mean. So, have a glass of wine handy or something. So, I don't have one right now, but that's fine. So, okay, so I've got this incorporated. So, as you can see, this is the color. Check this out. I mean, we're talking like the Mexican flag. White, red, and green. Green would be the other. Or Ween, like the band Ween. Or Weaning Off, or Weezer, or whatever. It's fine. So, now what I'm going to do real quick, because I don't want to make this a really long video. Gosh, I love these tunes. I'll tell you what, good music is so important. If you're making stuff and you've got silence, unless you want to hear the thoughts in your head, not always a good idea. If you've got a lot on your mind, you don't want to hear that stuff. I say block it out with music. And I tried to put on the dance channel, the DJ channel, but they've just got some stuff on there where I can't even get into it. I like some faster music when I'm chopping, but just they played some stuff that I was just not gonna. It was not doing it for me. My chopping was coming out really bad. So I went back to my standard. I'm squeezing all this in. Here's the deal. You can always add more. Now, I'm making this salsa tonight only because it's better the next day. What? She said yes. Unless you're going to make it early in the morning, this, just like a spaghetti sauce, needs to sit overnight. It'll be better the next day. I'm going to tell you right now, okay, and I'll use the word again like I did the other night, and I will be clear when I say this. Macerate. These flavors are going to macerate, meaning it's going to come together. Macerated. You're macerating the flavors. You're bringing everything together. So, the vegetables, the lime juice, the seasonings, the salt, it's going to macerate. As they macerate together overnight, tomorrow, this is going to taste so much different from today. Now, I do initially try the salsa to make sure that it tastes like it's supposed to. And apparently my brother said that I'm not tasting enough stuff when I make it. Well, sometimes I'm going out the door. I don't have time to taste it, but... So there. But I know it's good because I tried it either before, like she didn't, or I did it later. Now, so I've got about, like I said, 3 limes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to... Again, there's already going to be juice from the limes. There's already, you know... This smells so fresh and so good. I seriously feel like I'm in a Mexican restaurant. I just need a taco shell and some chicken or some carne asada, which I don't have either, so why even talk about it? But hey, so big old bowl. Again, I love hand chopping. It takes longer, but I'm telling you, it's a texture issue. If you throw everything in the food processor, it's going to turn into a mushy, soupy. Who wants to eat salsa as a soup? I don't. So that doesn't make sense. I mean, if you do, that's a little strange. So, I'm taking a chip. I grabbed 5, but I'm doing a chip. I just am checking. Now, I usually chips that are unsalted because I like to taste the flavor of what I've made, but these are extra because I'm whatever. But this music is so good. Wow. Okay, right now, I'm not kidding. This tastes so good. Gosh, I don't know why everything just turns out good the first time. I just must be fortunate. But, okay, so. It's great. So what that means, the lime juice, let me take a moment to just take it all in. The acidity is unreal. Meaning, plenty of lime juice, but great. Great flavor, salt, perfect. I salted the tomatoes, I don't even need to add salt. So, on that note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let you guys go. Now, I don't know that I will do a segment tomorrow after I've tasted it again. Probably not. Possibly. I can't promise. These promises I can't make because if I don't follow through, then shame on me. Anyway, it's been a long segment. This is like 13 minutes. Oi, you guys are getting extra footage. Listen. Enjoy what you do. Holidays are here. Make something yummy, and who cares? Just enjoy everything. Till the next time on Beemore Foodie, or eating can be fun, but Beemore Foodie with me. See ya. All right, cheers.